Hello, hello. Hello, great people. How are you guys doing today? I'm Danielle Pierce, creator of Real Estate Profit Lab. So I am actually going to be live here on YouTube, of course. And for those of you who have Clubhouse, if you want to just listen in and not look at me the entire time, go ahead and find me on Clubhouse at Danielle Pierce. So give me a second while I start this room here. Don't allow that. So hopefully everything is going well on Clubhouse. For those of you who are listening in on Clubhouse, welcome. Again, I'm Danielle Pierce, creator of Real Estate Profit Lab, property preservation expert. And I'm doing this particular video because I wanted to kind of give some insight into how I earned, or my company, I should say, earned $1 million in 2020 during the pandemic, which was arguably one of the most unlikely times, right, that someone would be able to do that. So do me a favor, if you're brand new to the channel, let me know where you're watching from. If you're a new subscriber, if you're a returning subscriber, I should say welcome back. But please do hit the like, subscribe, and share button, do all that good stuff. I will be responding to some comments, but I got a lot of points I want to cover to make sure that I get everything in. So if I don't respond to your comment, please don't take it personally. But please, again, like, subscribe, share the video. For those of you who are on Clubhouse, ping other people into the room. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, why am I doing this particular video? I think it's important to showcase my particular journey as it relates to people who are looking to make money in the digital world, because a lot of entrepreneurs are looking to kind of break into that space. And I had a really tough go of it. And so I've always been very transparent about that. But y'all gonna really see how tough it was in the beginning to the way that it is now. I didn't pray myself into this reality. I didn't do a lot of positive affirmations. Like I'm not one to sit here and say, oh, I just prayed to God, or I just gave it to God, or I just, told myself a series of positive affirmations every day for 6 months and then it manifested. That's not how it worked for me. My online course is what we're talking about specifically today. So just so you guys are clear, in 2017, online course sales were $21,000. All right. $21,000. 2018, it was up to $86,000. And then 2019, it went from 86 to $755,000. And then just over $1 million in 2020. So again, for those of you who are just now coming into the, into YouTube, $21,000 in 2017, all the way up to over $1 million, basically just 3 years later. So that's a pretty big leap. And I feel like that's a pretty good story to tell. So I want to be sure to go ahead and break down how that happened. So again, over $1 million last year. In spite of the pandemic, we had 4 six-figure months. Those months were May at 123,000, June at 160,000, July at 125, and then November at $118,000. And the best part I think about this particular series of events as it unfolded is that we actually turned off ads in July. So from August through the end of the year, there were no ads on running at all. And that was because we were revamping the program. Wasn't anything wrong with it, but we just wanted to, to make it better. Oh, Thomas, you got to mute yourself. Thanks. So it wasn't anything wrong with the program, but we wanted to make it better. So actually ads were off for the last 5 months of the year, which is like crazy. Most of the people that are talking in the digital space about how much money they're making, they're usually driving that with ad spend, but that was not the case. So I'm really excited about that. And the reason why that was able to happen is almost entirely due to working with my partner, Thomas K.R. Stovall. So we're going to talk about him in just a second. All right. Let's talk about highs for the day, right? So June 24th was a $79,000 day. Black Friday was an $85,000 day. The goal for Black Friday was $100,000. Thomas and I both set that a couple months before. We want to do $100,000. But again, I'm sharing this video today because I want to talk about how it started versus where it's going now, right? So stay tuned, and this should be pretty interesting. So I wrote down a couple of points. Before I do that, I want to do a little bit of personal background for those of you who are not familiar with me. I am not brand new to being an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since 2007 when I was laid off from my full-time internal audit position at Equity Office in downtown Chicago at, I forget the address. That's so bad. Basically Madison and Madison, and a little bit past Wacker, right on the bridge. So that was my second job out of college. And I was laid off. I thought I was ready to be an entrepreneur like so many people are today. I was like, oh man, I got this. I want to be rich. I'm just going to, flip houses and make money in real estate, and life is going to be great. And of course, it didn't quite work out that way. So I've been a full-time entrepreneur ever since then. Wasn't always great. Matter of fact, it was pretty horrendous in the beginning. Took me 5 years to replace, almost 6 years to replace my corporate salary, a little over 6 years to hit that first, make $100,000 in 1 year, which at the time I thought was like the finish line. And then I get there, I was like, well, damn, that's not quite what I thought it was going to be. So here we are, right? So for those of you who are thinking about quitting your job, just so you're clear, again, 5 years to replace my corporate salary, which at the time was $61,700 per year. And then another year after that to finally cross over into the six-figure land. So that's my background. Not brand new to being an entrepreneur, although, it may feel like that to some people, but that's certainly not the case. All right. Aside from that, a family of 5. My mom was a single mom. My dad was an alcoholic. Died pretty young from heart disease. Grew up in Chicago Heights, specifically Beacon Hill. Why is that important? Because the odds of someone like myself growing up in the neighborhood that I grew up in, with the childhood that I had, given the domestic violence and the alcoholism and the sexual assault and sexual abuse and crime and drugs, and my brothers, kind of doing their own thing in the streets, like the odds of getting to this particular point here today are pretty damn slim, wouldn't you say? So I'm sharing all this to let you know that, I didn't just wake up and be fabulous like I am today. It's been a long work in progress. So I've always wanted to be in real estate. I got my real estate license back in 2007, became a managing broker, and I did a bunch of different things in real estate. I did BPOs, I worked with buyers, worked with sellers. I did a couple of flips, which are very stressful, I should add. So again, I've always done something in real estate. I never left it. It was always like my go-to. So I'm saying that for those of you who kind of start things and you just kind of jump out of and you try to do something else, I stayed with this thing since 2007. So I don't want anyone to ever be confused and think that, this just magically happened. It's been in the works since I left corporate America, or actually I should say since I was laid off. All right. So in terms of things that you could do, things that I wanted to cover tonight, I should say, the very first thing, you guys, is to pick one thing and master it prior to teaching it. So there's this theme right now about, faking it till you make it, or just launch an online course and you'll make money and people will pay you while you're learning. And, you can kind of figure it out as you go. I'm not a fan of that. I feel like you should know something before you start teaching it to people. So my particular area of expertise is property preservation. This is what I do. This is what I've done since 2013. This is what I know. So it only made sense to kind of create a program centered around that. And then to actually be good at it, right? So be good at it, make money in it. My highest month and my highest year as a property preservation vendor was 2016 at $422,000. Why is that important? Because I do want to make it clear that I didn't just make $1 million from selling online courses. I also made money in the industry and continue to make money in the industry as well. And that's a very critical distinction between myself and many other people that, you could potentially be following, right? So 2016 grossed $422,000 in property preservation in Chicago, which is where I'm from. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas now. And so that is my claim to fame, so to speak. So I've done this, been doing this, continue to do that. And that's why the course, I think, does it so well and people have the success that they do. All right. What else? My initial thought back in 2016, 2017 was that, if I tell these people how much money I make and how this worked out for me, surely they'll pay me for, teaching them how to do it, because that's just common sense, right? Hey, T. Hey, peaceful beings. That was my initial thought that, okay, I know what I'm doing. And so they're going to automatically pay me because, they want to get the same result that I have. And I feel like this is going to be an easy transaction. And literally nothing could be farther from the truth. This is like the classic error that folks make, especially in our community, in the Black community, Obviously, I'm a Black woman, for anybody who's surprised about that. A critical error that we often make is that and this is discussed in the E-Myth, which I highly, highly recommend if you're an entrepreneur thinking about it. In the E-Myth by Michael Gerber, he talks about how people think because they're good at something, they should then go into business doing that thing. A lot of folks in our family, in our community, they're good at, cooking or cutting hair or doing braids or whatever the case may be. And so they'll think, oh, you should start a restaurant. You should go out and do this. You should be your own boss. And those two things have nothing to do with each other. Just because you know how to cook does not mean that you know how to run a restaurant, nor does it mean that you should open a restaurant. But of course, me just hopping into this entrepreneur game, thinking because I'm cute and I'm smart, I'm gonna figure this shit out along the way. And I was just like, okay, I got this. And of course, it didn't work that way. What I want y'all to know is this: people will take from you for free forever until they die or you die, and they will never lose any sleep over it. If you think that just giving away your stuff for free is going to result in a magical payday someday down in the future where people will automatically just pay you what you're worth because they're going to do this out of the kindness of their heart, I can assure you that that's not going to happen. They're going to keep taking your stuff for free. They're going to keep, using it to be successful, make money. They're probably not even going to give you any credit for it. And they're going to do that shit until, one of y'all dies. Like, that's just what it's going to be. So I hate the narrative that people, so many traditional coaches put out into the marketplace, and you should do this for free and then build up your, you should build up your exposure and then eventually people will pay you. That is a lie. People never going to pay you. They're not going to pay you unless you ask for it, right? Or unless you demand it at a certain point, or you expect it. That's a better word. People are not just going to automatically pay you because you've been doing some shit for free. That's just not how it's going to work. It's kind of like your family. You got people who borrow money from you time and time and time again, and you think, well, damn, surely they're going to pay me my money back, right? Because this is like the 5th or 6th or 7th time. And, at some point they have to pay me my money back. And they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. And you're going to be disappointed and sad and very frustrated during that process because that's not how it's going to work. So again, people not just going to pay you. I want to talk about consistency now. So I'm still on the first point, by the way. I want to talk about consistency. I see so many posts where people are like, I need a social media manager. I need a brand manager. I need an ads expert. I need all these different things. And they feel like that one thing is going to solve all their problems. Like, if I just had this one thing that's missing from my business, then I'm going to make all the money that I deserve to make. I just need this, a brand manager. And all of that is just nonsense. Like, none of that stuff is what you need. You're not going to hear me say anything about branding, logos. I'm not going to talk about that until like an hour from now, because that's how it ranks in terms of things that you should be focusing on. Not saying it's completely irrelevant. What many people struggle with is that you don't even believe yourself. You don't even believe in your business yourself. And it shows. I can tell somebody who's scared and kind of just dipping their toe in the water. And then it's like everybody else can see that too. It's not that I'm a psychic or a genius and that I can see that, you're scared in your marketing. I know that you're scared. I know you don't believe in your product. I know you don't believe in yourself because of how you present it and how you talk about it. When you're excited about something like, oh, my baby is smart, you put it out there like, man, look at my baby. She's smart. She's beautiful. She's this, she's that, whatever. But when it comes to your business, so many of us are just very timid. We're scared. And so we then look for things to kind of buffer that and kind of say, oh, well, I just need this missing piece, which I don't have. So therefore, that's why I'm not doing X, Y, and Z. The reason why you're not getting the result that you want is because you're inconsistent. You don't show up. You don't believe yourself. And therefore, nobody else believes you. Right? Therefore, nobody else believes you. That's the cold, hard truth, but don't nobody want to hear that, which is why I ain't nobody's coach, because people go, most people don't want to hear that. Like, they want to hear that there's a missing X factor somewhere. No, show up, be consistent, promote yourself, believe in yourself, and then maybe I'll believe in you after that, right? People buy into things once they see that you actually buy into it. And 95% of the stuff that I see is like, nah, they don't believe that shit that they selling. They don't believe what they're talking about. They're not serious. They're just literally out here just, I ain't gonna say wasting time, but they're dipping their toe in the water and they're not serious. And so when you do that, you dip your toe in the water, well, you get little results in exchange for that. All right. What else? So be consistent. You don't have to be on every single platform. I'm not. Well, actually, I probably am. I am probably, but my favorite platform, my preferred platform is YouTube. So for those of you who are listening in on Clubhouse, if you wanted to, watch on YouTube, this is where I'm also doing the video here as well. But you don't have to be on every single platform. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. I like YouTube because, it's a fun platform. I actually don't prefer video. I love to read. I love to write. And I would honestly just write articles and write books if somebody would pay me to do that. But of course, that's not how, universe has been set up. So you don't have to be everywhere, though. You don't have to be on Instagram, TikTok. You ain't got to be dancing and jigging. You don't have to do that stuff. You just have to pick one platform and be consistent on it. I see so many people where they're like, oh my gosh, I want to do a YouTube channel. What should I do? Well, you should just start a YouTube channel, right? And then they'll then spend another 6 or 7 months or a year trying to figure out branding and thumbnails and colors and just a bunch of nonsense. Just start the channel. What are you going to talk about? What's your area of expertise? Can you start to carve out a niche within that? And all that other stuff you can worry about after the fact. People like to talk to people and learn from people who know what they're talking about. All the other stuff is just, extra, right? Just my 2 cents. And then also, too many people don't know how to do something, so then they turn around and do nothing. It's like, well, I don't know how to do TikTok, so I'm not going to do TikTok. I don't know how to do a YouTube channel, so I'm not going to do anything. Like, that literally makes no sense. If you don't know how to do it, then the only way that you're going to learn how to do it is to actually start doing that thing or to pay for training. But most of us are like, we don't want to pay for training, and we're stuck in our ways, don't like to learn new things. And so we're always just stuck, wondering and talking about, man, I really want to do my YouTube channel this year. Well, YouTube channel is just a few clicks on your phone, right? At the end of the day, it's not rocket science to get it started. Now you can perfect it and refine it along the way, but you should definitely get started. I didn't know anything about an online course in 2017. I thought that people were just going to pay me because I know what I was doing. These are the results that I've gotten. These are the people that I've helped. So therefore, you should be fair and pay me because, that's the right thing to do. People don't give a damn about the right thing to do. People do not care about the right thing that they should do. And that doesn't mean that you have to be that same way. But what it does mean is that you have to be mindful of that and aware of that up front and just know that, if I hadn't started in 2017, there's no way I'm here today, 3 years later, grossing over $1 million in 2020. That's literally the bottom line. That's the point that I wanted to make. If I hadn't started, then this day doesn't come. If I had waited until I knew about how to start a course, which platform to pick, people spend hours and days and weeks and months. Should I do Thinkific? Should I do Kajabi? Should I do Coursera? None of that shit matters. Just pick one and do it, right? Pick a platform and move on with your life. Like, stop spending hours and wasting your time on utter nonsense. All that stuff is just to hide the fact that you're scared. And it's okay to be scared. I'm scared all the time, right? It's okay to be scared. You be scared and you move anyway. So point number 1, you guys, was to pick one thing, master that thing prior to teaching that thing. That is point number 1. Point number 2, this is going to be good. Get a coach. And I'm going to break down what I mean by get a coach, because everybody says it's online and it's so annoying, right? Because get a coach can mean any number of things, right? There's so many different types of coaches. I'm going to break down what I think you should look for when you're looking for a coach. Don't just hire folks because they're popular. Don't just hire folks because they got a lot of followers on Instagram. I can't tell you how many people I personally have encountered with large followings on Instagram who know absolutely nothing about anything. They just have a lot of followers. People will follow anything. And that's not to disparage any particular person or group or identity. People will follow anything because a fear of missing out is a very real thing. Clubhouse, for example, is a phenomenal. If you watch how they rolled out Clubhouse, phenomenal execution of, FOMO, fear of missing out. Like, they just did a fabulous job. So much to the point where I got an iPhone. I ain't never had no damn iPhone before. And I got one just for Clubhouse. But for me, I like the platform because like I said, I don't prefer video. I like audio. But yeah, that was a brilliant execution. But don't hire folks because they're popular or because they have a lot of followers. All that stuff don't mean nothing. It's irrelevant. Like, the follower counts don't mean anything. The number of subscribers doesn't mean anything. All that stuff is just, it's just internet stuff. And you could fake that all day, right? It doesn't mean that you'll get any particular results with a person because they have 100,000 followers or even 1,000,000 followers. I've seen both, and neither one of them knew any. And a lot of them, I shouldn't say all of them, a lot of them, they don't know anything. Don't just hire a general business coach. So, and you should run far away from anybody who puts themselves out there as a quote unquote general business coach, because there's so many niches, right? When it comes to coaching, there's automation, there's marketing, there's branding, there's video, there's copywriting, there's sales funnels, sales systems, sales pages. I could go on, right? There's so many different areas of expertise. So for somebody to say that they can do all these things as a coach, unless it's Thomas K.R. Stovall, who's my partner now, right? We moved into a partnership. Unless it's that person, I'm not. I would advise you to run far, far, far away, right? Don't just join random masterminds and hope for the best. Masterminds are phenomenal depending upon who's running them and the people who are involved. But what I see a lot of times with masterminds is really just a bunch of folks together, dozens of people calling themselves a mastermind. That's not what a mastermind was designed to be. A mastermind is small, focused groups of individuals, you guys, working towards a specific goal. It ain't 100 people, because then it's not no damn mastermind. Now it's just group coaching. There's a very big distinction between the two. And I just want to make sure that everybody is crystal clear on that. Don't just join random masterminds. Like, I'm not a fan of just joining stuff again because everybody else is doing it. I want you to spend some time figuring out specifically what you need help with and look for that specific thing. So this is going to be important. Make sure that your ask is also in alignment with reality. What does that mean, Danielle? Let me break this down for y'all. Many people think that they need a VA, and you'll be like, okay, what do you want this VA to do? Well, I want my VA to do graphic design, help me with my landing pages, respond to my emails, respond to my inboxes, create my, manage my CRM. And they come up with a long list of things. That's not what a VA does. And I'm not shading anybody, because I didn't even know this distinction as well as I do until very recently. So that's what's called an online business manager. That's not a VA. VAs do what you tell them to do. OBMs are independent thinkers, and they problem solve. VAs don't solve no problems, y'all. VAs do what you tell them to do. And if you're not organized and don't have a specific blueprint or operations guide for what they should be doing, then you're probably not going to be very successful with a VA. You're going to be somebody who hires them and be like, oh man, that VA, she didn't do nothing. She just sat around and waited for me to tell her what to do. Well, it sounds like she did her job, right? That's what VAs do. That's why they only charge. That's why you pay them. If we're talking about the Philippines or India, $3, $5, $10 an hour. We're talking about America, maybe $12, $15 an hour, but that's why the pay rate is what it is. So some of y'all expectations are way out of alignment with reality. And I see this with people who are seasoned business coaches or seasoned business professionals and entrepreneurs as well. I'll see a post of people like, man, I need a administrative assistant, or I need somebody to come help me with this business. And the stuff that they expect them to do is ridiculous. Like, this is not what you need. You need to figure out what those duties are, what the tasks are for the people for the different roles. What does a VA do? What does an administrative assistant do? What does an online business manager do? What does a marketing expert do? What does a branding expert do? Don't collapse all of that into one thing and be like, oh, I'm hiring and I'm going to pay you $20 an hour. Ain't nobody ever going to sign up for that, because it sounds like a headache, which it will be, right? So again, spend some time studying the different job descriptions so that you don't sound crazy when you're out here asking for help, and that people can actually know that, okay, this person knows what they're doing and we can take them seriously. Because I'm telling you, people just laugh when they see those long job descriptions or long job descriptions online and like, oh, I'm going to pay $20 an hour. Like, oh, you're going to pay $20 an hour for a funnel expert? Good luck with that. If the person you're hiring cannot articulate what they can do, my dears, internet friends, clubhouse friends, they can't do it. And I know this now, again, this is from working with Thomas, but I can assure you, if people cannot tell you what they can do, they can't do that shit, and they're going to take your money and waste your time. They might make you feel good. You're going to feel empowered. You're going to feel like, man, you might really like that person as an individual, but they can't do it if they can't articulate it. And that is a hard, hard lesson I've learned so many times, even just, dealing with other service professionals like people in finance and financial advisors and CPAs and attorneys. And you can always tell when someone can articulate what they can do because they'll say things like, oh man, I got you. I got you covered. I'm going to take care of you. Like super vague language, you about to waste your money. I'm telling you right now. Get the coach that you're thinking about hiring to articulate and document what they say they're going to do and the deadlines in which they're going to actually do it. So you never want to just pay people money and there's no agreement in place, right? You want to be able to hold them to a specific deadline, and you'll find that people who don't know what they're doing will be pissed off when you push for this, right? They will be pissed off when you push for a deadline because then they're like, oh, you're going to hold me accountable? Well, this kind of sucks. I was just hoping to take your money and we was going to chop it up and have a good time and be empowered and feel good. And you was going to walk away and that was going to be that. And you was going to leave me a good review based on how I made you feel, not necessarily versus the actual results. So again, get everything in writing and get the deadlines attached to it as well. And once you vet them, please pay them and do what they say, right? Please pay them and do what they say. If you guys are just tuning in, again, I'm Danielle Pierce, the creator of Real Estate Profit Lab, property preservation expert, hit $1 million in 2020 in the midst of a pandemic, which I am a little bit in disbelief about. The actual goal was higher. So, I kind of was a little bit disappointed at first. And I was talking to Thomas K.R. Stovall, who's my partner, and he was like, man, we are really tripping to be disappointed about not hitting this goal when it's still over $1 million. So there's that. So if you're just tuning in, like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. If you're on Clubhouse, please ping some people into the room if you can. If not, we're going to keep it moving. The first point I picked was to pick one thing and master it. The second thing was to get a coach. And we're still on coaching now, right? So when I first hired Mr. Stovall as my coach, y'all, can I tell you, I was like, this man is out of his mind. Like when he hit me with the $8,500 minimum per month, I was like, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, I ain't about to do that. Like, I'm just keeping it 100. And he knows this because, I told him, I was like, Thomas, really? Like this, are you serious right now? And he was like, yeah, and actually that was a 15% discount. I was just like, man, you got to be smoking a special type of drug if you think that, because it was a very different world for me because I didn't realize that people paid these amounts for coaching. But I do want to be clear about one thing though. What Thomas has done for my particular business, that's not what he's going to do for anybody else. It's a tremendous amount of work. We've actually moved into more of a partnership relationship now versus, coach or mentor mentee. So the expectation is not that he's going to be able to do this for dozens and hundreds of people. Like he doesn't even want to do that. Like that's just not how he rolls. Back to the sticker shock, $8,500 a month. I was like, nah, not doing that. Like that's entirely too much money. But he never wavered on the price and he never wavered on the outcomes that he could produce. And it was all articulated up front. It was all laid out. Like, this is what we're going to do. This is what I'm bringing to the table. This is what we're going to work on. Like it's all documented in, all these different spreadsheets and Google Docs. And I was just literally like blown away. Like, oh, he ain't, he's not BSing me. Like he's actually serious. And I know that because we had some interactions prior to that. He would give me ideas and they would work. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that you did that and that it worked. So I already had some evidence. I'm an evidence-based personality. So I already had some evidence up front. But then when the actual agreement time came, I was like, man, this is a lot of money, bro. But let me outline what Thomas has brought to the business, because I know everybody asked me that. So I wanted to do this video to make that clear. Accurate pricing. My pricing was in the toilet because my mentality and my self-esteem wasn't in the toilet, but it wasn't where it should be. You'll find that when you're not feeling as good about yourself as you should, or you have some, self-esteem issues to work on, it reflects in all facets of your life. And business is, of course, a part of your life. So I would always price things like super low, like, oh my gosh, I don't want to charge too much. People gonna think I'm a scam artist. You know, Black folks love to have some call somebody a scammer, right? Oh my gosh, you charging that? Why are you doing that? Meanwhile, you know, the white guys out here kill the game, right? Kill it across the board. And we don't really have anything to say about that. It's almost like our expectations that, you know, you can make money, but you know, that people want to dictate how much money they think that you should make. So my pricing was bad. Low pricing brings in a certain type of customer. Those customers are very stressful, very high maintenance, very demanding, they will charge you back 2 years down the line. Like, hey, Riddell, they do the absolute most when you charge at lower price points. So I was really resistant to raising the price. I was like, no, we can't do that. It's not going to work. People are not going to pay that. Oh my gosh. So, you know, he brought into the table accurate pricing. He was like, Danielle, you have all these success stories, 300 5-star reviews and counting, probably a little bit more now. All these emails, all these inboxes, all these folks who've made thousands of dollars per month. Why are you still stuck on charging $400? Right. And I was just like, oh, well, okay, we'll give it a shot. Expectation setting. So that's for myself as the business owner and the person providing the services, and for the person receiving the services. Like, this is what, you know, we're going to do. This is the promise. This is what we're promising that you're going to receive. And in exchange, this is what we need you to do. Follow this plan, follow this process, follow this blueprint. So expectation setting up front versus just kind of letting people pay you and let the chips fall where they may. The difference between a product, offer, campaign, sales funnel, and sales system. Now, if I said that and you were like, what the hell is she talking about? That's kind of been my my viewpoint on that as well, too. I didn't know the distinction between all those different things. Again, product, offer, campaign, sales funnel, sales system. I just thought that, like most people, like most of you probably think that, oh, I'm just going to get some landing pages in Kajabi. I'm just going to get some landing pages and, and what's another Kartra or whatever the case may be. And that's not reality, right? Well, no, I shouldn't say that. That's not built for long-term success. So he brought that to the table. Going from a sales page to a sales system. So I was just going to go from Thinkific to a checkout page, and life was going to be great and move on. And that was going to be that. And Thomas was like, no, that is not a sales system. This is just some random things thrown together. This is not how you should be doing business. And this is not, your image. And I was just like, oh my God. Okay, Thomas. So we worked on that, or he worked on that, I should say. Creating new products from existing content. I got a whole lot of things I could be talking about, a whole bunch of content, whole lot of videos, whole lot of things that I know and I write pretty easily. So we create new products around stuff that I already have, creating memberships for added value, scaling the business. So I could take on 2,000 customers tonight, right? And not have no breakdown. Well, praise God. Hopefully no breakdowns with Active Campaign. But we could take on 2,000 people right now today, and all of that would just flow with no additional effort, no stressing out, no no headaches. Like, it would just flow. And everybody can't say that. That's the reason why a lot of product-based businesses can't, when they get into things like getting into a Walmart or a Target, that business goes out of business because it is a very different scenario when you're scaling at a certain level versus just, one-offs here and there, or just doing a few $1,000s a month. So I could take on 2,000 people tonight, which, if those of you who are ready to get started in property preservation, come on in and join us, and it wouldn't be an issue. All right. Qualifying customers. So this is key, because many people say things like, I don't want to sell. I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to sound, like I'm desperate. I don't want to be salesy. All of that stuff, for one, is just fear-based. But for two, if you transition from the idea of selling to actually vetting your customers, so basically you are forcing them to show up and prove themselves as qualified to be your customer versus you jumping through hoops and twirling and doing TikTok videos and doing all type of shit to get them to pay you, you reverse it. I didn't know that. I thought it had to be the other way, where you just like, please buy my product. Please buy my program. My program is great. It'll work for you. You don't have to do any of that. Right? I don't do that right now. I don't convince anybody to do anything. People say things like, why should I buy from you? I don't know. You probably shouldn't. If you don't already know, then this is probably not what you should be spending your money on. And that's a very major shift, right? In my entrepreneurial journey. And again, I attribute that to directly to working with Thomas, because I had no clue that was even a thing. Attraction-based marketing. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I don't have to just keep begging these people to like buy stuff from me. I can just like put it out there, design a program, create the expectations, put together the processes, and then force them to give me their money. I was like, oh, I kind of like this. And so that's why we screen so heavily up front now, because I don't want people getting into the program that aren't committed, that are kind of dabbling, that are kind of course junkies. Like all those people, God bless them, because I've been a course junkie too. They're kind of a headache. And so I don't want that, right? And then accurate thinking. I tend to shoot first, ask questions later. I tend to just make a decision and roll with it. That's just kind of my personality. And Thomas is like, well, why are you doing that? Even tonight, he was like, what's the call to action for the live stream? I was like, well, shit, I don't know. I had thought about it. I don't think about those things most of the time. I was like, I'm just going to do this and then I'll do it. And that works for me because it allows me to get things done, but it also works against me because then I sometimes get myself in situations where I'm like, damn, I probably should have spent a little bit more time on this up front. So that list of 9 things is a very brief synopsis of what working with Thomas K.R. Stovall has brought into the business. And honestly, I feel like working with Thomas is my karmic reward. I've only had one other person who really wanted to see me win without any like agendas, hidden agendas, no shade, no jealousy, just like really like, Danielle, I really want you to make this happen. It's extremely rare. And I just want to always give credit because I get to $1 million, right? And we make that happen at some point, but just not in 2020. Probably like 3-4 years down the line, it would have happened, right? If I had been working with Thomas, it would have happened eventually. But it would have been with so much more stress, so much more headache, so much more anxiety and angst and just, frustration that I don't have right now because of the processes and systems that we have in place. So I'm eternally grateful for that. So back to my list of points. We were talking about doing everything for free. And I want you guys to know that people don't respect things that are free. It's kind of like your family again. And this may not be applicable to your family. Maybe it's just my family and just a few others, right? People don't respect you when you keep bailing them out time and time and time again. Talking about your family or friends. People don't respect that. As a matter of fact, they often start to resent you because they need your help so many times and you keep helping them, which makes them feel bad. So now they're mad at you, right? This human nature is something, right? Free also dilutes your market value. And once you've trained an entire internet of people to expect things from you for free, it is hell to get them to start paying you money, right? It is absolutely hellacious to make that transition. So I encourage you, you don't have to start off with doing anything for free. That's the common model that's put out there over and over and over again. Like, oh, you should do this for exposure. You should do all these speaking events. You should, I've had invitations to go fly myself to a location, pay for my own hotel to go speak at an event and promote this event for nothing. I was like, what the hell? What am I doing this for? Right? There's exposure, which you have to do that sometimes, but it has to also make sense, right? So I'm coming to speak at your conference and there's 100 people here. They ain't even qualified to buy anything that I have. No, they're not even interested in what I'm offering. So why am I doing this? Why am I spending my money to come here? And so I can say that I'm a speaker at this event. I don't give a damn about none of that, right? If I do it, it has to make sense, period. And that's not just always about the money, but it just has to make sense in terms of my time. Like I had 3 kids, they're asleep now, which is why this event was at 11 o'clock at night because I had to make sure they were asleep. But they're 9, 8, and 6. I can't just be flying all around the country on my dime to go speak at events to people who are not qualified and who I just don't have time for that. So you'll get that a lot as an entrepreneur. You have to be able to stay the course and always move in alignment with whatever it is that you're trying to do. Your bills don't get paid from your free lead magnets that you keep giving out in the hopes that somebody is going to buy into your program. That's not going to pay your bills, right? It's not going to pay not one bill. You should decide, and you get to decide what you do for free, not anybody else. Period. That's your decision to make, and you can't let folks guilt trip you into thinking that you should be doing X, Y, and Z, or you should do this for the culture, or who do you think you are? Let whoever think whatever, but you should decide what you want to do for free. I do stuff for free all the time. I have a brother um, in Alabama who has some issues. I'm gonna go into it here because everybody's not as outspoken as I am. He needed help starting his car lot. Here, I'm gonna help you start that. I saw a Facebook friend. She asked for help with paying her rent. Yep, I'll help you pay your rent. I saw a random post about somebody who wanted help with their tuition to go to Freedom Home Academy, which is a private African Center homeschool in Chicago, which I love. My kids went there when we were there. They needed help paying their tuition for 1 month. Cool, I got that. Random GoFundMe's, I'll pay for that. Random 501c3 donations, I'll do that. I just do as I move, as I feel led to move. And I don't let anybody sway me into feeling a certain type of way or feeling like, I should be doing something more than what I feel compelled to do. That's the level that you'll have to get to. And that took a very long time to get to that point. Which brings me to my next point is it requires audacity to get to a point where you're making the money that you want to make, or you're having the business that you want to have. Once you start charging, people are gonna be mad. Well, especially after you train them to get stuff for free. I wish I could screen share and show you some of the emails I've received over the years. People will be like, "Oh my God, how dare you? How dare you, charge $19 a month?" Like, I've gone through so many like different iterations of this business, even a name change, right? From Women Wealth and Real Estate to Real Estate Profit Lab. But once you start charging, people gonna be mad. Once you start charging your work, they're gonna be double mad. Once you start making more money in a day than people make in a month, people are gonna be mad. And it probably will trigger some insecurities in yourself as well. Once I make this video about, our company grossed $1 million last year, people are gonna be mad. Like, people are gonna be mad though, right? I didn't weigh into my decision as to doing this video because I figured that people were like, "Oh, you shouldn't talk about this during a pandemic. People are struggling." Oh, no doubt. People are definitely struggling because I've been one of those people for so many years. Yes, I know all about struggle. And please do tell me more about how people are struggling, right? I know all about it. Even this year, I moved my mom here from Chicago, so she lives not too far from me now. And she already had a stroke and she had limited mobility. She gets here and she has another stroke. So now she's 100% bedridden. So it's so ironic that I had all these plans, to travel with my mom. We was gonna kick it. I was like, we're gonna do all these different things. It's gonna be great. And I finally have a little bit of money to start doing it. And now she can't even get out the damn bed, right? My daughter, she's 6. She had a fever for 9 days straight. We went to the hospital. We spent 3 nights there. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with her, and she freaked me out. I was, stayed in the room with her. She didn't have COVID. They tested her twice. No, they literally don't know what was wrong with her for 9 days. Like, children shouldn't have any fever that lasts over 3-4 days is a problem. This was a fever that I couldn't break for 9 days. So that happened this year, and a whole bunch of other shit that I could talk about as well. But yeah, I know all about people having problems because I've been one of those, for many, many years. But nevertheless, I feel like those problems are part of this story. And it just shows that not that you could overcome anything or that you should, have success in spite of your problems. Because I think that, or I shouldn't say that, I know that if you don't have a problem right now, you're going to have a problem coming your way at some point in the near future. So you might as well, just expect that. You have to believe on a cellular level that this is what you deserve. I'm reading this book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And you can Google it or just look it up. I posted about it today on Facebook, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And the author, oh my God, this book just blew me because it's basically like law of attraction on steroids. It's law of attraction with the science behind it to kind of prove why it actually works. And I love evidence. So it spoke to me. And they did an experiment where people were holding, I guess, some DNA in a test tube. And basically, long story short, the DNA only responded to emotion plus intention. So just feeling a certain way wasn't enough. You have to feel it and you have to have the intention at the same time. And the DNA in a test tube actually responded to the thoughts that people were having if they had emotion plus intention. And it just blew me away. So that explains why law of attraction doesn't work for so many of us. It didn't work for me for many years. I was just like, whew, please, can somebody tell me how to sell this online course? I know what I'm doing. I got all these success stories. I've made all this money. Like, can somebody please just tell me what to do? But I didn't believe that I deserved to make any money doing it for the longest time. And so therefore I didn't, right? 2017, 21,000, 2018, 86,000, 2019, I started working with Thomas Stovall, 750,000. So there was a shift there too. So it wasn't just a monetary shift, it was a mental shift as well. Like, damn it, Danielle, like you deserve to be here. Like that's what had to happen. And that wasn't present for many, many, many years, in spite of, putting myself out here in this Black Girl Magic hashtag and, showing up and being a full-time entrepreneur and doing all these things. Like it just wasn't there for so many years. And so if that belief isn't there, everything you do is gonna fail, y'all. Everything you do is going to be subpar, less than, or missing something because you don't even believe that you deserve to be there, right? Next point I want to make is that you should be able to articulate and deliver on your obligations to your customers in a very streamlined process. So I didn't have that in the beginning. I just had a course and I was like, okay, watch these videos and, I'm going to help you. I'm going to fill in the gaps along the way. It was a lot of heavy one-on-one interaction, a lot of, coaching and a lot of back and forth, a lot of emails, all because I didn't have a process, right? That's basically what it came down. So I didn't have no process. I didn't know what I was doing. So it's like, okay, well, here's what I'm doing. You should be able to articulate what are you providing to your customers, right? What are you promising? What's your result? So I don't have a course. We actually have an entire program. So people can go through the program, Property Preservation Mastery, utilizing several different methods. We have 5-day challenges, another Thomas K.R. Stovall edition, where you get one specific thing to do every single day, which helps them to focus because everybody got ADD and they can't focus and they're always doing like 71 things at the same time. So people can go through the course that way. They can go through the full program if there's someone who can, study on their own and take their time. We do check-ins, 4 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, and 20 weeks. I want to see what you're doing. How are you doing it? Where are you at in the process? This is where you should be. If you're not here, why not? All of that is built into the program now. We have thriving communities of prior students that all new students can tap into. The prior students can kind of lift other people up. And it's good to see folks who were just where you were at in the beginning, and now they're here. They're in a much further place. So that's built into the program now. We have a paid private membership where I do Q&A sessions. To date, I've answered just in the private membership, 300 questions and counting. So lots of Q&A. Our promise is that you're going to get this contract if you follow these steps. And if you get the program and you don't follow it or you fall off or something happens, when you get ready and you tap back in, you still going to be able to get a contract. That just happened this year, a couple months ago as well, where someone bought into 2018 and then, 2 years later, bam, they got a contract working in the industry and they started getting work because it still works, right? It doesn't matter if you don't follow it right away 100%, like it's still going to work for you. And then we also check in along the way at the end, I should say, to make sure that everybody completes a survey to say, did we deliver on this promise? What do you think about the program? What specifically do you think about? Like, I don't want to know if you like my personality or like, how I talk or coach. I want to know, was it effective? Like, that's what we're looking to track. And most people who follow the whole program through 100%, over 60% get a contract within the first 8 weeks. Another 20% take like 12 weeks. Some people do it faster, right? The rock stars or the overachievers. But we track everything now, and it just continues to get better and better and better and more refined along the way. So it's not just a course, it is an actual online program, which is extremely well laid out, right? If I do say so myself. Which brings me to my next point. Um, don't be listening to what the general public says that they want, y'all. Don't listen. You'll get people reaching out to you. They'll say things like, "Oh, you should teach this," or "You should start this program," or "People will pay you to do X, Y, and Z." Those people don't know what they're talking about. I get those inquiries all the time. I pay them no mind. You got to listen to what people pay. How people pay you is with their debit card, or handing over, paying for something that you offer. All that talking and stuff, that's just irrelevant. So you can't do things based on what the general public says that they want you to do. I'll give you a perfect example. I also know about tax lien investing. I teach tax lien investing. I have in the past, I should say. I have dozens of success stories. Plenty of folks who've gotten tax lien properties. I got folks who got properties for $500. I have one guy who said I increased my net worth over six figures by utilizing this program and buying tax sale properties, right? So increase comes every single day about this program. Black Friday last year comes along, and we roll it out for one day. Like this is back like the McRib. We love, we're gonna put it out there and see what it's gonna do. Can I tell you less than 20 people registered for the program? Less than 20 out of an inquiry every single day. Hey, when are you gonna bring back tax liens? When are you gonna do this? When are you gonna do that? Man, we really need that program. But then when it's available, you don't get it. So that's what I mean when I say you can't listen to what folks, you can't let the general public sway you in terms of what you offer. You should listen to what people actually pay for, right? And then make sure that it's always in alignment with what you actually want to do with your business and with your time. Anything else is hustling backwards. That's my 2 cents anyway. I think you should also set up your business around your life and not the other way around. The common rhetoric is that you got to be engaging in Facebook groups all day. You have to engage the people. You got to talk to them. You got to get feedback. You got to comment. You got to go live in your group. This is what you have to do to get people to know, like, and trust you. That's not really what you got to do. You don't have to be live streaming all day. I don't live stream all day because I don't even like live streaming. Like I said, I prefer to read. I prefer to write. I don't mind talking, but I could just be, Clubhouse is cool, I guess, for that reason. But I don't have to be in front of a camera. You don't have to respond to DMs and inboxes all day. Like, these are just things that people have been trained to expect from other entrepreneurs. And because of social media makes everybody just so accessible. But you don't have to be doing that unless you just choose to. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Not even go a step further and say that you shouldn't be doing what everybody else is doing. Most of this stuff that you see being promoted is just people saying it because that's what they've always heard, that's what they've always said, and they don't know any other way. It doesn't mean it's effective or that it's something that you have to do. You get to train people how to reach out to you, and then you keep your word to yourself, which I have had to learn the hard way because, I'll be talking to Tyler sometimes and he'll be like, man, look at this message I got. Like, a message will be like, call me, lives are in danger, or call me, this is an emergency. People that I literally have never spoken to a day in my life. Like, how is there an emergency where lives are in danger concerning me when I don't even know you, right? But you don't have to respond to that stuff unless you just choose to. Like, you don't have to engage in every battle that you're invited to. So I had to learn that the hard way. Making money is no good if you're too stressed or too frustrated to relax and enjoy it. If you're going to be on YouTube, create a YouTube video posting schedule and stick to it. If you're going to do email campaigns, so we do email campaigns. Now, I think the current campaign is cracking 100K in 2021 in property preservation, which you can find that playlist on YouTube. If you're on our email list, which is about 51,000 people now, you'll receive the emails as well. And yeah, that's what we do every month is a campaign. So not just random emails. We don't send out happy MLK Day or happy birthday or happy Valentine's Day. Not to say that those things don't matter, right? But that's just like everything has a focus and a plan and a call to action, right? So it's not just sending emails just to be sending emails, and we're consistent. So I don't wait 2 months and then send an email. I can't tell you how many emails I got this year from people that I ain't heard from in 6-12 months. It's like, what the hell you emailed me now for? I forgot I was on this list. Let me unsubscribe from this list today because I'm not interested. It's been a whole year, right? But that's because people are scared. Like, I don't want to bombard people with emails because then they'll be offended. My dear, If you ever want to get a lesson in being offended, go to Fashion Nova and opt into their text messaging or their email list and watch how your phone blows up every day, all day with Fashion Nova discounts and coupon codes. Right? I'm just saying, if you ever want to just test it out and see if what I'm saying is accurate, like go ahead and try it out and see. Like they don't play and they don't care. Their motto is either you're going to buy or unsubscribe or you're gonna die, right? Or you'll die first, right? So you're either gonna buy from us or you're gonna leave our list. And we're gonna keep sending these emails your way because that's what we do. This is how we promote. And every company does that. It's only you and us and other entrepreneurs, especially minorities, where we are like always, worried about offending other people with marketing or promotion. Like nobody else cares about that. Coca-Cola is still the most widely recognized trademark on the planet, and they still outspend every other company in terms of their advertising budget. I want to say it's like 18 billion. It's some crazy amount of money they spend every year for marketing and promotion when they're already number one. Like people around the entire world know this logo, but nevertheless, they still keep their foot on the gas, and that's what you have to do as well. All right. What else do we have? Well, I also host a monthly industry overview and Q&A session the last Wednesday of every month. That's done right here on YouTube. You have to register for it, but that's part of our process as well to get people to learn about the program, to ask questions. We have a podcast. There's articles on LinkedIn. There's the email campaigns. Like all these things are designed to give you all the information you need to make the decision that's best for you, and not just here, give me your money and let's hope for the best, right? A big problem that I see with that I had as well. I keep saying to people, keep your messaging consistent. To make sure I'm not getting any text messages from Thomas about what I'm talking about. Hold on. All right, I got you. Keep your messaging consistent. Confused customers don't buy. And I joke about this all the time where I'll say things like, man, especially being from Chicago, where people will literally have a hair salon or a barbershop and they sell socks, they sell t-shirts, they sell bundles of hair. They do a lot, right? They have a lot of different hustles in one location because we think that if we do more the merrier. And again, I've been guilty of this. I had a year, I want to say it was 2009, where I had done 9 or 10 different things and only made $30,000 for the entire year. Just again, hustling backwards. I was selling used cars. I learned how to sell used cars, true story, from my brother who was in jail at the time. We were trying to raise bail money. He knew a lot about cars. He told me, he trained me on how to buy used cars and flip them from jail. So he would send me letters. These are the cars you get. This is what you look for. This is how you test it out. And I would do it. And we raised the money. It's like $5,000 and it worked, right? But I was doing that. I was doing BPOs. I was selling a couple houses here and there. But again, all of this stuff can only make $30,000 for the whole year. And again, that is because I just thought that more was better. But to you and everyone else who's thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, confused customers don't spend money on. They're not going to spend money with you. They don't know what the hell you do. They don't trust you because you keep changing up. You keep showing up as a different person every time they encounter you. As somebody who completed our readiness assessment, which is at propertypreservationmastery.com, by the way, and they said that they had a business card from 3 years ago at the Black Women's Expo in Chicago. I mean, I was there. So, it's a true story. I was definitely in attendance, but it just goes to show you the power of being consistent and staying in your lane and not switching it up. All the things work. If we're talking about real estate, preservation works, tax liens work, wholesaling works, flipping works, all this stuff works, but you got to work at something and be consistent, right? Even being an agent, any area you pick, you can be successful with it. But it's just a question of, are you going to stay the course? Or are you going to keep changing up what you do every 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months, or even every 2 or 3 years? Like it takes a long time sometimes to see the fruits of your labor. All right. You want to be the go-to person in your niche, and then also you want to make sure that you how you present yourself is how you train people on what to reach out to you for help with. So I'll give you another example using myself as always. Um, I would get so many inquiries from people, and it'd be like my cousin's grandmother's house is, the taxes haven't been paid in 50 or in 20 years. What should I do? Or they'll be like, I'm trying to do this mystery shopping thing and I can't get signed up with this company. What should I do? Or I'm trying to sign up to do inspections with We Go Look and I can't get any work. What should I do? And then business coaching and all types of just unrelated stuff. And I was just like, why the hell? This is my personality again, right? Like, why the hell these people ask me all this stuff that's unrelated to anything that I'm doing? And of course, again, Thomas was like, well, Danielle, have you looked at your YouTube channel? And I'm just like, what you mean? So I go look at my YouTube channel. I got videos on side hustles, videos with other entrepreneurs talking about stock market investing, all type of things, which is of course why I got all types of inquiries from people about all this different shit that I wasn't like, this is not what I do. But when you put it out there, people think that this is what you do. It's like, nah, I just did a video on. Like, I don't want you to ask me about this like indefinitely. Like that wasn't the plan. I could talk about entrepreneurship, homeschooling, world schooling, side hustles, tax liens, flipping, business credit, BPOs. I could go on. Like I literally know enough about all of these things to be doing videos and live streams and coaching and offering programs, but I don't, because I don't want to dilute my brand that has been created and refined with a bunch of other extraneous, extra information that isn't conducive to what I'm trying to put out into the marketplace. So any video on my channel on YouTube is related to property preservation. That's by intention, because I don't want you to ask me about business credit. I use Fly Credit, which is owned by Jerry Tolliver. That's the program that I paid for. I recommend that you pay for that program as well. So again, it's just a lesson in how you put yourself out into the marketplace is critical, so that people, know what to reach out to you for, and they know what not to reach out to you for. All right. I think I see some comments. Rendell said triple mad, and BB says imposter syndrome is real. Yeah, it is. So you guys, if you're just tuning in, again, I'm Danielle Pierce, creator of Real Estate Profit Lab, property preservation expert. I'm live on YouTube and live on Clubhouse simultaneously. This is my very first Clubhouse chat, so we'll see if I'll continue on this platform. But please, like, subscribe, share the video, and I got a couple more points to cover before we get out of here. And this is important. So back to my YouTube channel, real quick. I deleted everything that's not related to preservation, and I also, at the same time, by doing that, I removed all of those "let me pick your brain" type questions and emails and inboxes too. Those don't come very often, because now I don't put out there that I know about all these different things, because that's not what I want to spend my time doing. Another thing I had to learn the hard way was to stop disparaging other entrepreneurs, dismissing their success, or discrediting them in any way. I had to stop counting people's money, stop worrying about what they're selling, and then telling myself that, oh man, they selling this program, like, my stuff is way better than that. Like, how many of y'all are guilty of doing that? It's such a low vibrational, low budget, super ghetto way to spend your time talking about somebody else who has the courage that you, in fact, don't have. But because you don't want to acknowledge the fact that you don't have that level of courage and confidence, you choose to discredit them in other ways, because that's easy to do, right? So you got to stop doing it. You can't be talking about folks' programs and counting their money and being mad because they're always promoting themselves and you're scared to do that. They're getting all the press and accolades, and you feel like you deserve that because you know so much more, and you should be where they are. Like, you can't spend your time doing that. In Chicago, people say Chicago is a hard city to be successful in terms of business. I've heard that quite a bit. People will say things like, Chicago is full of haters, Chicago is this, Chicago is that, and I never really bought into that. was like, I don't know if that's the case. But can I just tell you, when I left Chicago, the floodgates opened up in terms of articles being released, press coverage, opportunities. Um, all this stuff just happened after leaving Chicago. And I distinctly remember, a bunch of events happening in Chicago where I'm just like, why am I not at this event? Why didn't I get invited? Why am I not a part of this group? What is happening here? And I don't want to say that people like, purposely excluded me, because that's probably not even the case. They're probably not even thinking about me. But it was just very odd to me to see that level of all these events are taking place, all these clubs, all these groups, and it's like I'm not qualified to be here. Like, really? Like, I see those people you have on your panel, and I know what they're doing. So it seems a little suspect. But anyway, you gotta let all that stuff go. Can't be counting anybody else's money, worried about their program, talking about people being a scammer. I think people love to, especially in our community, we love to be like, oh, this person is a scammer. Why do you care? Right? Like, why are you so vested in what this person may or may not even be doing? Right? Why are you putting that energy out there? There's so many people who are not scammers that you could be focusing on, but here you are focusing on this small group of folks who are scammers. Here you are focusing on, take the PPP loan, for example. Folks like, oh my gosh, some of y'all going to jail. Y'all scamming the government. Like, mind your business. Like, if they go to jail, they go to jail. Like, what does that have to do with you? Like, people do what they do. And it's not for you to be, sitting back and pointing your finger, talking about what this person should or shouldn't be doing, because that ain't never worked as far as I know, right? Um, I will say you should get on your competition's email list and get in their sales funnel. Now, I do that. I still do that. Like, if I see a bomb ad or company or a person who's like really good at talking about their business and really successful, like, I'm in their funnel. Like, I'm getting on your email list. I want to see what you're doing just because I'm nosy, right? And I want to see how it works. So I do recommend that you do that. And then last, I got two more things I want to talk about. Branding, logo, automation, customer management, email management systems. You notice I brought this stuff up last, right? I brought this stuff up last because not that I'm not saying that it's not important or critical to your business, because it is. But if you think that your time is best spent on perfecting a logo or hiring a brand consultant or figuring out your colors and your automation system and where you're going to host your course, like, you are literally misguided and wasting your time and probably wasting your money. Okay. That stuff can come, like, not last, but kind of towards the middle. Like, figure out first, what are you good at? Where are you gonna get your customers? How are you gonna promote the business? How are you gonna market it? That stuff is more important, right? This branding and logo stuff, like, I know the brand strategist is gonna be mad when I talk about this stuff. And the graphic designer is like, oh my gosh, branding is critical. People see your brand, whatever. People see you. This is the world that we live in. People like to see you as a person, know your story, your background, your history. What do you have to say? What are your thoughts? That's what people like to know. So you could, get a bomb logo and get some really good color schemes going and have your pink and your girl boss and your what else do I see? Girl boss, corporate boss, boss B, boss babe. You can have all this stuff down pat, but then at the end of the day, you have a very pretty Instagram and you have no customers. So what exactly was the value in getting all this stuff done up front? And I see this all day long, especially on Instagram. I don't even really, Instagram is another platform that I don't spend a lot of time on because of what I do. I don't feel like it's the right vibe per se for Instagram, but I see beautiful Instagram pages, right? Plenty of followers, but the content is so light and it's so weak. And another thing, I will say this, everybody is always talking about somebody is copying them and stealing their quotes or stealing their programs or stealing from them and doing all these things. Maybe everybody should stop doing the same shit, right? And saying the same things and talking about the same empowerment and the same, like, a lot of this stuff sounds the same. So if you think somebody's copying you, well, my friend, who did you copy, right? All this stuff y'all be talking about just sounds the same. Like, very little of it stands out is what I'm trying to say. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. If somebody is copying you, like, who cares? Maybe you should then start doing some more things that are a little bit more original And then you got to worry about people copying you, right? I don't know who will see this property preservation. Actually, I take that back. There's one other person that I know. But I don't spend no time thinking about it. I'm like, I don't care. Like, do your thing. Whoever you are. Good luck. Right? Good luck. And to my customers and clients and my success stories and my property preservation students and our folks who bought tax lien properties and those who bought my ebook on side hustles and they've gotten FEMA inspections and property inspections and mystery shops and what else? That people are doing broker price opinions and getting their real estate license and a long laundry list of things. I sincerely thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Like, this obviously does not happen without you. I'm always appreciative, even though I be talking, Thomas and I, we talk and I be saying a lot of things behind the scenes sometimes and complaining a little bit, but I'm super grateful for everybody. I'm grateful for every referral, every testimonial, every success, every person that you send to my way, every person that you tell about anything that I've done, even those of you who never say anything. You take the stuff and you run with it. You never come back and be like, man, thanks, Danielle. I appreciate every single one of you. And there's so many people that, that come to mind. We have over 300 5-star reviews. Best success story for preservation did $243,000 in 1 year. I have a few students who've had their very best months during the very best months ever during the pandemic. Like I said, another student who increased his net worth by over 6 figures with some tax lien properties in Indiana, and just a phenomenal body of folks who are following the blueprint. They're starting their companies. They're getting their tax ID numbers and DUNS numbers and websites and getting contracts and getting their insurance. And they're literally out here like building their business. I have people who are working with family, people who are working with friends. Like, I am just super amazingly blessed to be able to have played a small part in your success, either in preservation or with tax lien investing or with, the side hustle. So whatever you've learned from myself or this channel or any other platform that I've been on. So I'm super grateful for you all. It doesn't work without you. And again, to Thomas, if you're watching or listening, as always, super appreciative of everything that you've done for the business. I know that you were very skeptical about this partnership after the first year because you were like, I've always had people who never never gave you credit, or they kind of flaked out, or they just weren't good people to work with, and they just were kind of annoying. It is a beast working with Thomas, y'all. Let me tell you, it was an experience unlike anything else. It stretched me more than I've ever wanted to be stretched, I think, in terms of being an entrepreneur, but I'm so much better. I'm like literally like 10 times better this year than I was last year. So I can only imagine where I'll be next year. But super grateful and appreciative of you. And then for Ina as well, because I know you spend a lot of time working on our stuff. So I'm very thankful that you've decided to share your expertise in my direction. Hey, Rendell says, got me up after midnight because you spitting all this fire. Yeah, Rendell, we need you to get your financial literacy course out into the universe as well. But I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about tonight. It didn't take as long as I thought. So for those of you, again, who are watching, thank you guys for tuning in. I sincerely appreciate your time. I know it's getting super late. My eyes are getting a little bit heavy. So I'm gonna go ahead and head out. I'll keep this video up because I think it has some pretty good stuff in here. Hopefully you guys think that it does as well. And I'll probably continue this conversation maybe on Clubhouse, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But again, thank you for tuning in. As always, sending you love, light, peace, blessings, grace, and clarity. Good night. Bye-bye.